Hi everyone, welcome back to another month and another channel message from the Council of Light. I am so happy to be here with you all. I'm really excited to bring them through today. They've been percolating in my energy, and I think they have some nice information to share with us. They've been coming through a lot in client sessions recently, and I was really excited to be able to sit down here today exclusively to bring them through in this capacity for all of us in our membership. So let's get to it. Greetings, bright, blessed beings, you divine souls and you sparks of light there on the earth plane. We want to remind you that we hold you ever so tight in a blanket of love and compassion and kindness. For it is your turn to be the receivers of this love and this compassion and this kindness. We see that you, many of you, are weary. Many of you are exhausted. Many of you are emotionally wrung out and put through and spent and finished. And it feels like you are in a doldrums or spinning in circles or at the end of a road. And we would like to remind you that this is just temporary. This is just temporary. For you are not spinning in circles, and you are not at the end of a road, and you are not in a space of disharmony. In your reality, you are always surrounded by fresh and vital energy, by excitement, by happiness, by peace, and by joy. It might not feel like it after you've been sitting in your homes. Some of you have been sick. Some of you have experienced loss. Some of you are waiting with anxious breath for things to turn or the ship to right itself. But we would like to say that it is temporary and it is not forever, and it is also not scarring for you. There are those of you listening to our words now, and we would very clearly like to distinguish that you may not feel like you are in that category. You might feel like you are overflowing with abundance and full of joy and always finding happiness at every turn. For those of you in this category listening to today's message, we say to you that you have healing ministry to do. Your healing work on the earth plane is to spread your joy, to spread your abundance, to spread your compassion, to spread your positivity now throughout the world on a daily basis with whomever you come in contact with, whether it be your family members, colleagues in your work environment, random strangers on the street. It doesn't matter who, it just matters what you do. The world is in a bit of a pinch, you see, on an energy level. There's so much collective consciousness of weariness that those of you who are feeling positive and light and uplifted and joyful and abundant need to spread that around to your fellow brothers and sisters so that they can begin to receive that into their hearts. We, of course, come here all the time to share with you. And when we share our words with you through the voice box of this woman here, we are also acclimatizing and rearranging and reconfiguring your energy fields as we speak to you. You all listening to these words, each time you listen to them, are becoming reharmonized, re-energized, realigned, uplifted, and refined. It's always a product of the way we do our work. We, the Council of Light, come from the space that is ever so bright in the all-knowingness of God Source energies. Some of you have different names for us in the place we come from. There is not one that is specific to us. We accept all monikers that describe where we come from. And when we come to your earth plane, There is a tremendous amount of sorrow and suffering and pain on any given day. And now you add into the mix this sickness that has overtaken your global community. On an energy level, that is a massive speed bump for all of you to try and get over at the same time. And it is a long process. Now, we must point out here that when we say long, we notice it for you in terms of your earthbound time. But we here in this spiritual sacred realm will point out that time here is very different. We blink our eye and 100 years goes by on your earth plane. So for us, we see this period of your staying home, as Laura likes to call it, as a tiny micro fluttering of the eyelid. And we just point that out to you as a form of interest and nothing more. It has no relevance to today's message other than to enlighten you as to the spiritual sacred realm and how it works with us in this space. Now, let us return back to our message of importance today. You must remember that you are a soul first, incarnated in a body second. Your body's physical shell is external, and it goes through the motions of this life, and it walks forward every day in routine script, taking a shower, eating food, computing the work tasks, doing the exercise, cleaning the house, etc., etc., etc. But it is not actually you. Your soul is your avatar of beingness. And your soul will get through this. Your soul contracted to be here in this lifetime, during this stay at home time, at this particular age that you are now, because you agreed to hold space for the collective consciousness of Earth's humanity to move forward and to grow and to become uplifted in a state of grace. And as we said at the beginning of today's message, some of you are weary. Some of you are exhausted. Some of you feel like you are batteries that have been depleted. And as you listen to our message, we are plugging you back in and we are recharging you. Feel our words like a soothing balm. Feel our words like a massage for your soul. Feel our words as if they were restructuring your beingness. Some of you may actually feel a lighter shift. Some of you may actually feel upliftedness. Some of you may actually feel happier. Some of you may feel less weary, less exhausted, slightly more able to move forward. There is no right or wrong for how you should or should not feel here, but we illustrate the point that you are moving into a space of consciousness that is new while you listen to our words. We cannot impress upon you enough that when you listen to us speaking, you are regenerating and rejuvenating your being. It is a powerful wellness tool that you give yourselves permission to use, much like your other wellness tools that you use on that earth plane. You humans are ingenious. You have come up with so many ways to feel plugged in, tuned in, dialed in, connected. You do breath work. You do mind work. You do movement work. You work with animals. You work with plants. You work with people and your feelings. There's so much that you do. Your yogic traditions and your herbal traditions and your spiritual traditions are deep and complex and thorough and wonderful. Each of you now needs to choose one of those traditions, one of those rituals, one of those routines that you have used in the past, and you need to bring it forward now, and you need to use it on a regular basis. Whether you return on a daily basis to your yoga mat, or you return on a daily basis to your 5 minutes of special breathing, or you return on a daily basis to using plants in a certain way that ground you, or you return on a daily basis to your spiritual chanting. It doesn't matter what you do, but we invite you now from this day into the next 30 days to complete it and do it regularly. This energetic time of year when you are in a holding pattern, you are stagnant, you are closed, you are hunkered in a cave of hibernation of sorts. We invite you now to open and to re-harmonize, to stretch the soul, almost as if a bear stretches as it's waking up from its deep winter slumber. We invite you during these next weeks moving forward to come into a space of harmonized, scripted routine that brings you in touch with this uplifted and joyful connection of space. You each know something you can do, whether you give yourselves a little foot bath or a mini tarot reading, or you sit with a cup of tea and you read in a comfortable chair. It doesn't matter, but please just do it. The doing of the action is what cultivates the energetic frequency shift into a higher state of being. Let us say that again. The doing of action cultivates the energy frequencies that rise into a higher state of being. So for those of you who feel like you are at the end of a line and you are too tired and you need help and you're stuck and you can't move forward, take this as your word. Take this as your homework. Take this as your note to be noted. Start. And for those of you who already feel like you are just plugging away and everything is fine, understand that your job is to share that joyfulness out around you. Let us cultivate an exercise now in a way that you can do this and share with the world. For those of you who are feeling weary and spent and tired, although we know now in this message that we have been sharing with you, you are shifting out of that space and you may begin to feel that actively as we speak. Receive what we are about to say. And for those of you who feel like you are already in a state of grace, practice what we are about to say. Breathe into your heart the loving light of the universe. It is whatever color you imagine it to be. Exhale that light through your whole being. Let it wash through your arms and into your hands and fingertips. Let it wash through your heart cavity and your lungs and through your torso, nourishing all the internal organs of the body. Let it wash down into the hips and the thighs and the knees and the shins and the calves and the ankles and the feet. Let it wash up through the shoulders, into the throat and the neck, washing it up through the head cavity, into the sinuses and the eyes and the ears and the brain. Breathe this conscious cosmic light into the nostrils, down into the heart center, and exhale it through your whole being. Breathe this conscious cosmic light in through the nostrils, down into the heart center, and through your whole being. Allow it now to permeate out around you so that when you come in contact with other people today, they subconsciously feel this light, this effervescence of joy that is ever so bright. Notice for yourself that you are off-gassing in the most glorious way. Notice as you move forward into your day that the people you come in contact with shift. They become lighter. They become more happy. They become more positive with their vibrational frequency, with the language they use, with their thought process. and they look forward to seeing you again today, the next day, the day after that, and so on and so on. Allow yourselves to cultivate this breath work of breathing in the consciousness of the universe on a regular basis. You are the catalysts for changing the vibrational frequency of the earth plane. This is what it means to be a light worker. It's that simple. You breathe in the effervescence of the cosmic consciousness and you let it pour out of you freely, without controlling it, without navigating it specifically into a certain place or a certain space or a certain time or in a certain way. You just let it waft out of you like the beautiful perfume of flowers in a summer breeze. You don't control this, and you can't guide it to the people that you think need it, because that is your egoic self trying to take control. And in this cosmic consciousness connected source space, that is not possible. So you just let it go. You release into it. You become the harmonization through a physical shell that is a manifestation of human form. Your physical shell that is human form is the beacon of light. And with so many of you walking around on that earth plane day in and day out, whether it is light or dark, day or night, you become the vibrational webbing, the network of harmonization that connects loving kindness through all of humanity. If you listen to this and you are on all the 7 continents, which we know you are, you begin to create a light grid that is of a loving consciousness. And you begin to help uplift and rise the suffering of humanity so that it can begin to dissolve and release and transmute into loving kindness and into compassion and into beautiful, joyful harmony. There are going to be human beings on the earth plane that can never do this. And so it is your job to always do this. And with that, we will say thank you for participating in this exercise today. We also want to say that it is imperative that you humans listening to our words continue to double down. You must continue to always strive to be in the best possible space for you each day and each night with your emotions and your physicality and your cognitive ability. We see that many of you are full of sorrow and anxiety and sadness and pain, and that is okay. But as this work has been done today, you are now risen out of that state, out of that lower base vibrational frequency of agitation. You may notice that you slip back into that space, and that is okay. For you are all human, and that happens as part of the human experience. But we want to remind you that you don't need to stay stuck there. And in fact, you can't when you come to this kind of sacred pause on a regular basis. When you do this sacred listening in your lives, right now it happens to be us, the Council of Light, speaking to you, the humans, listening to our words, but you have other routines as well. When you do this act of sacred pause, you are recalibrating and you are recalculating so that you can move forward in a space of clarity, steadfastness, trueness, and upheldness. So with that, we say thank you so much. It is always the greatest blessing and joy and honor for us to speak to you. We have been working with humanity for many, many, many millennia. And it is always a pleasure when we get to work directly with you and speak directly to you. And you get to listen to the words that we say, and we see and sense and feel and know the vibrational harmonics that change and shift and grow. It is quite an honor for us to do this work. We are tasked as souls from the light to support you as humans in moving forward in your own right. You will continue to move forward on your evolutionary continuums, and we will continue to support you each and every step of the way. Thank you for taking time to do this here and now, today. We leave you with bright blessings. Goodbye for now. Namaste and adieu. Oh, I feel so uplifted. I feel so light. I feel so effervescent now. And I hope that you feel a positive shift for yourselves as well. Thank you so much. As always, it is a pleasure and a joy for me to be here and co create this sacred space with you. Be in touch if you need any support in any different ways. I'm always here.